Merry meet, guys. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I am your Wednesday host, Houston, and this week, week 20, we are talking about psychic attack. Jen did a great video. If you haven't seen her video, I do recommend watching hers. I also recommend watching the others. I think all of us have a different look and a different view on the topics each week, and we all relay really valuable information. So, with that being said, let's get into the topic. So, psychic attack. Psychic attack, like Jen did state, can come from many different sources. It can come from people who are aware of what they're doing and sending something negative towards you. A lot of people, that is, I would say, a rare case. Unless you're in the public eye, it's a very rare case for someone to be intentionally sending you negativity. It does happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, and I'm not going to say the psychic attack never happens, because I think that's bullshit. A lot of books that you'll read on psychic defense and psychic attack will say psychic attack doesn't happen, and I think that's complete bullshit. Why have a book about it? Sorry for the soapbox. But it also can come from people who are unintentionally sending you negative energy, or they're angry with you, or they feel jealous or envy. Those are two of the biggest emotions that bring about psychic attack in others. They're either jealous of what you have, so they're sending that, the green-eyed snake towards you, or they're envious, the same thing. Envious of what you have. Or it could be, there are two more options. It could be a spirit, an entity which you might have pissed off. That is the case, because we are human. Sometimes we don't know what would piss off a spirit and what wouldn't. A lot of what I do is spirit work, and there are times where it just happens that one of my spirit friends are angry, not really at me, or it could be at me, that I've done something stupid, and they're just angry, and I have to give them offering and apologize. And that's kind of how you get rid of that aspect. I'll get into more detail on that in a little bit. The fourth option is actually a psychological thing, where you think you're under psychic attack, but you're actually doing this all yourself. One of my favorite, I shouldn't say that because it sounds like I'm a horrible person, and just as a prelude to that, before I say anything about it, I don't curse people unless they really deserve it, unless it's justified. Like, I'm not going to just sling curses out at someone because they cut across me in traffic, or they were rude to me at work, or whatever. I'm not going to do that. It has to be justified, like a rapist, a child molester, an abuser, or something, and I curse them to get caught. I don't curse them to kill them. I don't curse them to bring them bad luck. Things like that. That's just my way. But with that being said, one of the best psychological curses you can do, which you don't have to do anything, the other person does it, is say, I'm going to curse you. And what that does is it gets in the other person's mind that you've cursed them, so they invent all this bad luck in lieu of what you said. Thinking that you cursed them, they'll blame it on the curse, but in fact, they're doing it to themselves. Does that make any sense? So instead of having an outside force that's actually attacking you, you're basically attacking yourself, sending the negative energy. You're creating the bad luck. You're creating all the symptoms of psychic attack within yourself. Sorry, I have sinuses draining. Now, some of the best ways, or some of my ways that I deal with it, is first, I have to figure out what source is it from. What of the four sources is it from? And I do categorize it as the four. The person who knows what they're doing, the person who doesn't, an entity or a spirit, and the self, and yourself, the person. If it's from the person, then I'll start then and go up. So if it's from the person, like they're doing it to themselves, I usually suggest cleansing, getting in some of their favorite music, dancing out to it, acting a fool, because that energy, the happiness energy, is a very high vibrational energy, and it'll get yourself out of the funk where you think you're cursed, and really you're not. You put yourself in that psychological situation. One of my favorite, and this actually encompasses can be all four. One of my favorite spells that gets rid of negative energy and psychic attack is one of Silver Ravenwolf's spells. It was in our early days. I think it was in Teen Witch. And it's basically turn on country music. If you like country music, it doesn't have to be country. And it doesn't have to, it can be the newer stuff or older stuff, whatever you prefer. And you call on the angels and you just dance out, rock out to country music. You can do that. You can basically do that with any type of music you want to. The big importance was calling on the angels to help you get rid of whatever you had attached to you. Now, if you're going from a spirit or entity perspective where you believe that a spirit or entity has attached itself to you or is attacking you because maybe you did something wrong, or it sometimes, how we don't like certain people, it may not like you. So what you need to do there is figure out, if you have the means to, figure out why the spirit is angry, or why the spirit is attacking you in general, and try to calm it down either with offerings, if you want to go about that way. If you want to be nice about it and offer, sorry, apologies, things like that. But if it's gotten to a level where you don't feel friendly, where you don't want to be nice, banish the living fuck out of it. It's your space. I know that could come off as completely wrong, but when you live in a house, and if it's a spirit of someone who used to live there before, they need to realize that it's not their house anymore, that you need to move on, that they need to move on and go to wherever they go. There are many people's different opinions on where they go, into the light, the Summerland, to heaven, to hell, whatever. That's your belief. So you can, how to do that is, there are many banishing rituals that you can do to banish an unwanted spirit, an unwelcome guest or an entity. One of my favorite is a higher magic perspective, the lesser banishment ritual of the pentagram. I do that at least once a week because me and my partner do work a lot with spirits. So I do that ritual at least once a week, maybe even more depending on the activity that happens in the house. Saging, using a Florida water spritzer, using Palo Santo, those herbs and perfumes are fantastic for getting rid of spirits and unwanted energy. I have a spritzer that's, I'm about to lose my voice. I have a spritzer that's Florida water and peppermint oil, and I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It brings the air of freshness to the house, and it gets rid of the stuff that I don't want. Now, going along with, there are a lot of things. I can continue talking about spirits for a long time, but let's switch over and do the other two topics, and then I'll touch back later. So the other one is the person who doesn't really know what they're doing, or doesn't know they're doing it, but they're actually causing you harm. The unintentional psychic attacker will do that. So for them, since, I don't recommend you you can, if you want to, finding out who it is and sending it back to them. I am so sorry. I am not a fan of doing that to the unintentional person, just because, like I said, they don't know what they're doing. So I mean, what I'll do is I'll do a energy, almost like a transmutation spell, where I take the energy that they're sending to me and transmute it into something positive that I can use for my life. One of my favorite YouTubers, Lady Grave Dancer, said a while ago that a group of people tried to banish her from YouTube, and she felt the energy coming, and that's basically a psychic attack, is when you're trying to banish someone and they know about it. That's kind of the same thing. It's almost like a curse. But she took the energy and filtered it and transmuted it into something that she could use for a spell that she needed for her life, and it worked amazing. So that's something that I would recommend, is learning how to transmute energy, so you can transmute the negative into a positive. I know with me being an empath, I have to do that a lot because I do work in a not so pleasant job. So I have to transmute, I don't have to, I transmute a lot of the energy that I receive into something positive to keep me going without snapping at a customer on good days. So that's what I recommend for the unintentional, I can go across, the unintentional attacker. Now for the intentional attacker, totally different story. I recommend that you figure out who the hell it is. If you want to, you don't have to. That's just a side note. You can, people's already here. You don't have to figure out who it is, because the magic's going to work either way. But return it to the center. So I suggest that you do a candle spell with a mirror, and return all the energy that they sent to you back to them in the way they sent it to you. Don't transmute it, flip it around, and shoot it right back. Just because, since they know what they're doing, they'll get hit back with it, and they won't know where it's coming from. And then after you do that, make sure you protect yourself. Now, ways to go about it, every day, like to keep yourself from getting hit with psychic attack, I should say. Keep yourself in high vibrations. It is difficult. I'm not going to say it's an easy thing to do. Witchcraft isn't easy. Neither is knowing energy. Neither is anything psychic or magic related. None of it's easy. So keeping yourself in a high vibration. My favorite thing, I've said it before, listening to fantastic music, rocking out to music, doing something you enjoy. Whether that be exploring new areas of your local park or local town or city, or hanging out with good friends, or something like just doing something you enjoy. Also keeping yourself shielded and grounded is also a very important tool that you should utilize to keep out of or stay away from getting psychic attacked, or attacked psychically. I don't know why I can't word anything right. So yeah. Now back to the entity situation. I do like what Jen said, that if it's in your house or if it's attached to you, don't be afraid, because being fearful is going to feed it. It's going to make it even greater than it was before, and that's not something that you want to deal with. I mean, that's not something you want to do. So don't be afraid of it. Never be afraid of the spirits that come into your house. They can definitely be frightful, and if it does get that way, sage it. Use any type of cleansing herb or cleansing spray or energy or what have you, So that is it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and until next week, many blessings.